Oh, I'm sure this is going to go over completely normal. It's the Citizen Vigilante review. Let's do something we haven't seen almost anybody do, which is just review the movie. Forget all the politics and everything on the outside of it. Let's just review the movie in the first part of this video and talk about that alone before we get all the crazy stuff surrounding it, okay? So in this movie directed by Uwe Boll, by the way, I realized today something about myself. I've never seen a Uwe Boll film before in my whole life. And it's exactly what I expected it to be like. Somehow, it's exactly what was in my head for the most part when you hear about Uwe Boll, which I know I'm saying his name wrong, but that's the way I hear it in my brain, so I'm just going to do that. But it stars Armie, might be a Cannibal Hammer, might not. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have enough time. He is starting his comeback attempt with this movie, which again, we're going to get into all that stuff in the wildest choice ever. He's starting his comeback to acting with a performance in a movie where this vigilante Batman type character has taken the law into his own hands because he's upset and fed up with the way the European government is allowing illegal immigrants to come in. And then when some of them, the ones that turn out to be murderers and rapists, which this says about 20 goddamn times, probably more than that.
After letting a gang of rapists free.
And he doesn't just stop at the people who commit the crimes. He wants to go after the judges and the people that let this stuff happen so that they can look good politically. He sets up a camera and he sends them messages with his face blurred out. And he tells them, he says, I'm doing this for you until you can learn to do it for yourself, to the people. He'll find the victim of the crime and he'll say, do you want justice? Do you feel like you got justice? Do you want justice? He doesn't wear a mask. He just shows up with his face out and all that. Then he goes and he does it. There's this Interpol chief who's after him, and throughout the film they do little interspersed shots, and this part of the film's terrible where the low budget stuff just really shines because it's so dumb. He's just walking in front of him, and it's like a kid made this up with his toys. He's just walking down the street in front of him. I know where the vigilante is, and they go to his house, and it's just this one little room. All the cops just run in front of the gun and get shot. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in a movie in my whole fucking life. They're dumber than NPC villains in a video game. So I think some horror fans will get a kick out of what they do with some of the violence in these shots, because these are just heads exploding like watermelons and just shooting blood out of them. When it comes to some of the other violent scenes in the movie, I'll say that like it's absolutely shocking, dude. Like it is off-putting. Like there's a cut on a simple cut of a wrist. You've seen it 1,000 times in the movie, but the way it's done here, there's a visceralness to a shocking one that like makes me really uncomfortable, and I don't like it. And some of the deaths of the innocent people and the other things that happen to them, it's hard to watch. Pretty fucked up. Best thing I can say about this movie though, and I actually mean this, and I don't care if people yell at me for this or not, Armie Hammer's really fucking good in this movie. Like he elevates this movie to something else it would not otherwise be. Whenever Nick Cage does a shit movie, right, but he just fucking acts his dick off in it, that's what Armie Hammer's doing here. I mean, you can see it's fascinating to watch someone in this level of a movie with that level of acting talent acting like they're acting for their supper. You know what I mean? Like he is desperately just giving it all in this strange movie, and it's fucking fascinating to watch. And he's really goddamn good at it. I mean, he elevates this movie so much with just that. And his voice is so deep and he's so meticulous that even when he's doing like the weird creepy 60 Minutes voice in the videos, when he just talks to someone, he literally sounds kind of like that voice. He's got such a deep voice.
Drive the bus. Which I understand.
It's sort of an American Psycho situation going on with him, and it's sort of a like Michael Fassbender working with David Fincher on The Killer. It's kind of like that. It's a Uwe Boll character study in a way. That's fucking crazy to say, but it's kind of what it is with him. And like you hear his inner monologue, he talks to you as he's going through. It mocks itself a little bit, and it's sort of a satire of itself. And I think some people won't get that. But for instance, there's just really funny dumb shit that happens, and he's not supposed to be a good guy. Like he does bad shit. It's not a straight up Batman thing, right? Yes, he's murdering murderers and rapists, and we'll talk about the whole stuff behind that with the immigrant stuff, but he's doing that, but he's also doing shit he shouldn't be doing. Like he goes into a brothel and he's just looking at the women, and you're thinking, oh, he's gonna be like, who did this to you, or where'd you get this bruises, and like go after the bad guy. No, he's like, how much? It's like $50. It's like, all right. And they go in the room and they have the sex scene between him and a prostitute, and it's like a full-on sex scene, but it's also funny because he's so OCD that he owns the building, and he sees a spot of mold on the wall, and he like obsesses over it, and he stares at it the whole, you're watching them fuck, and he's staring at this. It's sort of American Psycho type of moments like that. But again, I say American Psycho, you're not supposed to like Patrick Bateman, but you can still laugh at him. You know what I mean? And sometimes this character does stuff that you're like, hey, yeah, probably should have killed that guy for sure. But then also he'll be driving and he'll be like, he'll just kill a guy to prove a point. He'll kill an innocent person himself just to make a point to the guy he's talking to in the car. Armie Hammer carries those moments. He makes them funny because he could give such a shit less. There's a point in a bus where he goes up to some kids who are being assholes and he sits down dead ass, like full turtleneck jacket, hat, everything, and explains to these little psychopaths who are like carrying weapons and shit and couldn't give a fuck less. He's like, now you know, when you steal a bus ticket, the price of bus tickets go up 10%, and that's not fair. And he's dead ass serious. And then he'll just go to the back of the bus and sit there straight and just stare at them from the back of the bus. And I know this shit's comedic.
You might not understand this, but think about it.
In another scene, he's talking to a guy that he's kidnapped, and he's like, rapists and murderers, like The Crow or some shit. And then he gets out of the car and he walks to another car and he gets like a rope and some shit. And the first thing you see is him open the door and go, rapists and murderers. And that shit has to be on purpose because it's so fucking funny. There's some really bad action sequences in it. Like I mentioned the cops and stuff earlier. Yeah, you can tell it's a low budget film. You can tell exactly it's the kind of film that is. And you can tell that an absolute crazy person wrote this fucking script with some things that people say. Even the lines that aren't written well for him, there's a couple lines that you just roll your eyes to the fucking sun. And there's a couple lines that you're like, that's actually pretty funny. Or some things he'll do that'll just shock you and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe he just fucking did that. This movie's crazy. Anything could happen. Let's take our shirts off in a Little Caesars. I respect the ball sack on this movie. I really do. And I think there's only, personally, in my opinion, there's only a couple times where they say something cringeworthy that's like, all right, that was just fucking dumb. Like, you had a point and then you went somewhere stupid with it. In the same way of like Bad Lieutenant or something like that, he'll do things that like people won't like that he does them. But I find it fascinating that the movie fucking has him do that. Like, why does this movie have him have sex with a prostitute in the middle of it? I don't know, because it's provocative, it gets the people going. It's just fucking crazy, and it's interesting and weird. I respect that this movie's so goddamn strange, and it's not just your average whatever. I'm not calling it good. I am going to give it a 6 out of 10, though, at the end of the day. Yeah, I am. Just literally because his performance is so great. The movie surrounding him has a million issues, but I kind of respect some of the things that they're doing with the movie. So let's talk about that aspect of it for sure. It's just kind of like a fucked up falling down in some ways, if you want to look at it that way. So if you're fans of movies like that and you're not sensitive, I recommend checking it out if you want to see a weird fucking movie that you've probably never seen anything really like when you put it all in a bottle, like a genie, like a Christina. My point is this: people are shitting their pants and crying in the streets over this movie. I saw somebody today that said, like, if you're an immigrant, this movie's saying that that you deserve to be killed, and it's like, no, it's not. It's literally saying that rapists and murderers should be killed, and people that let rapists walk free, should suffer more consequences. I don't think that's that brazen of a thing. The movie takes it a step further and specifically mentions that they're immigrants. It specifically says things about Islam religion, and it says some things about it that are fucking true. There are people that immigrate or don't immigrate or whatever that follow some fucked up shit, and they think that, they come into a country, this is Europe we're talking about here, they will come into a country, carry these awful values with them. I'm not saying all values, I'm talking about the psychopaths clearly. Again, the rapists and murderers specifically, not all immigrants. And I think this movie's saying the same fucking thing. I mean, I think it's a pretty clear and cut thing. It says, like, there's a couple throwaway lines in it that you're like, oh, come on. A couple things like that here and there, but honestly, nothing that you haven't heard before in 2 seconds of opening Twitter. It's nothing that crazy. And apparently a lot of people who live in Europe feel this way, feel like their government has let them down, that they're so afraid to be, they have to stay so PC that they're afraid to actually put people behind bars for the appropriate length of time when they do these horrible things. Sometimes that's very fucking true. I mean, you see it and the news is afraid to talk about it. And the movie covers this and talks about it in a weird way. And then kind of at the end of the movie, it's like this movie is for the victims of crimes that, have gone unpunished or whatever base. I can't remember the exact words, but I don't think it, I've seen them say Germany's not quite, I guess, banned it, but they've really kind of tried to suffocate it. They won't give it a rating or something like that. But there's a lot of people trying to suppress the movie or whatever. And it's the #1 movie right now in the world on Apple. people are paying to watch it, which, I mean, that says something alone right there. Whether you like what the movie's saying or not, it's that it's saying its truth, and it's saying, you know, I think people are appreciating that for whatever it's worth. And also, I'm not saying I agree with every single politic in the movie. I don't need to see a movie. I don't agree with half the politics and half the shit that I fucking see. But as far as this movie goes, I respect that they made it. I just do. I don't think that that's a bad thing to say at all, that the judicial system is not living up to what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, that's the story behind Batman. That's the story behind The Punisher. And them saying that, oh, this movie's trying to incite violence. Like, you're fine with The Punisher shooting dudes in the face. You're fine with Batman breaking people's bones. Like, I mean, we've told the story 1,000 times. What's so different about this? Because they're talking about people who are of a certain color or people who are of a certain religion. I mean, if that's the facts of some of these cases, why are they not allowed to say that? Isn't that what the movie's trying to say to the people getting mad at it? It's not saying all of this group, you know? So I think that there's just how, if you just look at it and don't try to take it to crazy town, I don't feel like it should be that offensive. I don't know, man. It's a crazy world that we live in. And yeah, what did you guys think about the movie? Did you watch it? It's a shit show at times, but I think the performance from Armie Hammer, whether you think he got fucked and railroaded or you hate his guts, I think his performance was fucking great in the movie. And that's all I know about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, what did you guys think about the movie? I love your fucking faces, and shall talk soon.